Hey everybody, welcome to Goshen Prepping. Thanks for joining us. Manufacturers, they want you to think food's going to expire. Of course they do. They want you to toss it out so you buy more and they make lots of money. And honestly, let's face it, we live in a disposable society as it is. And honestly, not knowing if food is good or not, I don't want to risk food poisoning. Have you ever had it before? It's certainly something you don't want to deal with. But I want you to understand there are safe things you can eat past the expiration and you'll be perfectly safe. Let's go through 12 of them. Number one, bread. Bread's often one of those things that has a best by date anyway, not an expiration date. It's kind of difficult for the manufacturer to see exactly when it's going to expire because of like humidity, temperature, where you put it in your house and such. I mean, obviously, if you didn't know this, take your bread and put it in the fridge or freezer to make it last longer. However, if it does get close to expiration and it does turn moldy, toss it. But if you're getting close and it hasn't turned moldy yet, next time you're baking something, some kind of delicious casserole, put the bread in the oven, chop it up, and make crunchy croutons. Can be used for all kinds of things, and they will last much, much longer. Number two, chocolate. And tell me, who doesn't love absolutely delicious chocolate? It is a weakness for me. And honestly, it's going to be a great bartering item when crap hits the fan. People love the stuff. Now, chocolate's one of those interesting things. Same thing, it may expire per se, start turning white and crunchy. Have you ever eaten chocolate like that? Well, that's the point. You can eat it. It's not the best. What happens is over time, the ingredients start to separate out, and that's why it makes it kind of like white and crunchy. May not be the best tasting chocolate in the world, but it is still something that is edible. Number three, eggs. And also, it's difficult for egg farmers to know exactly when the eggs are going to expire, so they put a best by date on there. But for you, it's really easy. All you have to do is get a big bowl of water, put the eggs in there. If they float to the top, toss them out. They've gone bad. Number four, frozen foods. And when they make these frozen foods, they make them really, really tasty and addictive, by the way, so people will buy them. But you know what? Being in the freezer, it suspends the bacterial growth, and it can last practically indefinitely. But, of course, we deal with freezer burn. And, of course, again, being processed food and all that stuff, it's not the most best things. But, if you like a little cardboard thing full of frozen processed macaroni and cheese, to each their own. Number five, hard cheese. And personally, I love hard cheese. It's one of my main go-to snacks. Being on keto, it's so good for you. It's really good stuff. I personally buy giant 5-pound bricks from Azure Standard. I'll put a link below. I pick them up every few months, store them in the fridge, and they're good to go. Now, I do like to cut them up and then vacuum seal them, and they still turn moldy on occasion, and that's not a problem with cheese. All you have to do is just slice off the mold and toss it away. And when I first thought about doing that, I thought, oh, this is gross, but it really does work. It's been going on for thousands of years this way. So hard cheese is a great thing to keep around. Number six, honey. Honey is one of those amazing foods that never expires. And not just amazing for that, but has so many benefits to it, even medicinally. But, same thing. You may have a jar of honey and some mold grows on top. Just scoop off the moldy stuff, toss it away, and your honey is still good. Number seven, maple syrup. And with maple syrup, this is one of the ones you have to go with the pure stuff. There's sometimes they add all kinds of ingredients to it. Just stay away from those. Get the pure stuff, and it'll last practically definitely. For us at our house, we tap our trees, and that's the maple syrup we have. But it's a great sweetener if you want to put it into stuff. And if you ever get it straight from the trees, it's absolutely delicious. But same thing, rarely, by the way, maple syrup will get a little mold on it too. But you can do the same thing like honey. Just scrape it off, toss it, and you can still eat the maple syrup. Number eight, dry foods. And there's lots of dry foods from cereals, crackers, instant potatoes, even pasta. All of these have best by dates on them, and over time they can kind of turn stale and kind of gross. You can still eat them that way, by the way. But what I like to do as soon as I get them, I put them into a Mylar bag with an oxygen absorber, and it helps them last possibly as long as possible. Number nine, peanut butter. And there's actually two types of peanut butters, by the way. There's the first one that has things added to it like sugar or hydrogenated oil. Bad stuff. And surprisingly, this one actually lasts longer than this peanut butter. And this is the one that actually has like no sugar and stuff added to it. That's the kind I eat. It's a keto food as long as you eat tons of it. But, a really good thing to try to kind of keep you going sometimes. It's another one of my go-to snacks. Now, either way, they will expire even though they will go past their expiration date. But it's easy with peanut butter to know if it's expired because it goes rancid. And whenever you have something that goes rancid like peanut butter, you smell it and it split. I mean, I kid you not. If you've ever smelled it, it smells just like Play-Doh. But people have this big fear of something turning rancid. You can actually eat rancid food, by the way, especially like crap hits the fan. It'll give you stomach upsets and a couple other things too, but you can still eat it and still live. So peanut butter will store quite a bit of time, but even keep it past expiration if you really need to. Number 10, sugar. And even though I'm on keto, We do have sugar in our house. We do make some things with it on occasion. Sugar is one of those things that stores really great. The biggest thing you have to worry about is moisture. But even if you have the sugar and it gets kind of clumpy because of moisture, just break it up and it'll still last forever. Number 11, yogurt. Yogurt will usually last a few weeks past the expiration date. Now, when I first started eating yogurt, you would actually have it so it sit there for a little bit and you'll start getting that watery stuff on top. And it was like, this is bad. Toss it. No, that watery stuff is called whey. The proteins in that are really good. You just got to stir it back in. That is not a sign that your yogurt has expired. What is a sign? It turns sour, really smells bad. At that point, obviously, don't eat your yogurt. Number 12, canned food. And canned food will last forever. It is awesome as long as the can's intact, no broken seals, no rust, etc. You'll be good. Experts say it. The government even tells you to. Canned food will last indefinitely. On that note, what's your favorite canned food? Put in the comments below. I'd like to hear it. Of course, I love corned beef hash. It's not on keto. But there's lots of canned foods I do like. I like the canned meats better, canned tuna, etc. I just absolutely love. I know a lot of people talk about freeze-dried food. That's another thing we could add to the category, isn't it? Freeze-dried food could be one of those things that does also last forever. But honestly, there are some downfalls to freeze-dried food. I'm going to leave it to this video. Go ahead and watch this video next, and it's going to tell you why freeze-dried food may not be your best option.